So I've just been doing some thinking there, and I have come to the understanding that I kind of use my emotions as a guidance to whether I'm on track with my inner self, whether they're good or bad. If it's good, then that's a good thing, and that's something that's good for me inside, and that's where I should be. But the one thing that sometimes creates a bad emotion is when you feel like people have treated you badly, and forgiveness, basically, because I find it sometimes hard to forgive, and it creates a bad feeling inside. And yeah, that's it.
No one can make you feel anything. If you find that you feel hurt, then love has provided an experience to root out the one who can be hurt. Nothing is happening to you. The mind is in permanent defense mode, consciously and unconsciously. It's always measuring its experiences, weighing them up. This is a good one, this is a bad one. This makes me feel happy, this doesn't. And your relationships are part of that weighing up. Are they making you feel good about yourself? No one can change who you are. No one can affect you. So the one who feels the need to forgive is the same side, the flip side of the coin to the one who feels hurt.
And are those two things, even though it's the flip side, I guess it's the emotion that comes with that. It's the frustration and of myself for not being able to forgive when you want to. Sometimes, it just sort of lingers there, and it could be past, it could be present,
Sure.
And just what the best way to kind of help with that is.
Look at everyone from here. Right now, let's do it together. This isn't an ideology. It's not poetry to make you feel good. It's an entire shift of your perspective. To look from the eyes of the heart is to look as entire existence. To look as God's eyes. So now, can you put your left hand there? Just close your physical eyes for the moment. Allow your focus to settle under the palm. Now that you have your focus, see if you can feel a quality of space between the palm and the chest. The space of your being. Can you feel space? Okay. Feel how expansive it is. How it cannot be contained. The space of your being is within you and beyond you. It has no end. Now when you're ready, open your physical eyes, but let endless space look at the form of Ma. This is your position. This is your true perspective. Does this one need to forgive? No. From here, you can now look at that little child mind that feels hurt from time to time. It only can feel hurt because it's forgotten this. That's all. It feels in a state of lack because it's forgotten love. That's all. The endless I can never be hurt. And this you now emanate. Ma is seeing Ma. Look at the form of Ma.
Quite sure what to say. I feel a deepening now. And I'm trying not to go into my mind to tell the story about before, but When I was sitting before, the thought came, I'm going to look spaced out there if I'm in this space, and how to function. From here. What you're pointing to is slightly different to, it's not different, but going to here, it feels the same but a different pathway into the space. Okay, so my mind's kicking in now. And it's saying how to maintain this. And my whole, when I spoke to you before, I've done a lot of different practices, and the devotion has been a path that now I'm not sure what I'm devotional to in terms of outwardly. It feels more inwardly. And that's kind of scary as well, somehow, to the mind. So when I've been at home sitting at my shrine, I chant a few mantras and I get into a nice space, but since I spoke to Muji a while ago, it stops, and I can't seem to do what I was doing before in terms of chanting mantra and focusing that way, but it does come in waves, but it doesn't, I had a practice before, I was sitting and doing something, and now it feels more silent, like I'm diving into the silence somehow, and I can feel it on and off through the day. At times I find it easier to feel. When I'm at work, it's a bit more difficult because I have a very boring job at the moment, and sometimes I'm still in there and staring into space because I start to go inward. I'm not quite sure how to function from that space. That's what I'm getting at, basically.
There's no such thing as a boring job.
I thought you'd say that.
Nothing is wrong here. You've had a beautiful journey. And every step of that journey has led you to every step of that journey, to every step of that journey has led you here. It is leading you inward permanently, deepening you permanently. In whatever form love takes, whether it's a mantra or not a mantra, it does not matter. You contain the mantra. The mantra is reminding you of you. Sitting in front of a form is reminding you of you, plugging you back in. Devotion is always inward. True devotion. Devotion isn't an option. You don't choose to suddenly be devotional. It's the natural consequence of tasting unconditional love. It's falling in love with love. So for now, do not worry if a form comes to present itself as a form of love. Use it. Because in that you are recognizing yourself. You are looking in a mirror. Love is seeing love and recognizing itself. Pure, undiluted self-recognition. The result of which allows you to dig deep into all those layers that are still there, playing their part, doing their job. But it's very beautiful to hear that now the mantras are just slipped away for the moment, and now you are merging, silencing yourself into silence. Being it.
I do find it sometimes easier to look at a physical or photograph of a person that's actually living, and it brings me presence. Well, that's the wrong, but it helps to re-establish that remembering.
That is its purpose. That is the purpose of every form. Can you see the wonder that you can look at a form of love and recognize it? That in itself is an earthquake to your mind. That recognition is a transcendence of the thinking mind. You can't rationalize what it is that you recognize, or why that form brings you inward. You just know that it does.
I have noticed in the past, at a certain point, fear comes up with the physical form, and then doubts come. So there's a recognition that has happened.
Fear of the physical form? Or
Fear of, in the past, of it's wrong or it's...
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I truly want to let go. You know, it's like some part of my being that is fearing, completely letting go, I think.
Of course. Of course the mind is fearing letting go. It's holding on by the fingertips, desperate not to let go.
Can you knock me off?
Look at me from here. When you look from here, do you need to let go? No.
I've got to say something. I've got to say something. I feel your presence coming in waves. Just remembering you. You know, when I went for a walk, I remembered, and then I felt like your presence within my being somehow. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I found, I found myself, my facial expression started to kind of move with how I see you somehow or something. And I became a bit self-conscious of that happening. And so I'm projecting into the future that, you know, when I'm at work, I don't want to be kind of, but it makes me feel great. I don't want to look all goggle-eyed and sorry.
I'm sure
If
your
you know what
work
I mean.
colleagues will love it.
You don't know where I work.
Let them see Ma through you. To feel the presence of Ma is to feel presence that is you. To feel the reality that is wave.
This wave.
You are waveform. Consciousness is waveform. Light, sound, vibration. You are simply feeling the reality that's expressing itself to you via a form of this. And any form can come and do that. A bird, the wind, a pebble. Look at it from here. Feel the vibration of being in every form. It is through form you know yourself.
Something else has come up about here, because when I've chanted mantra in the past, I can feel the energy going up to here. It sends a rise.
Yes.
Have you anything to say about that? Is that okay? Because I can feel it going upwards. And this is what's different with what I'm experiencing now, is it's very heart and expansive. That's the only way I can express how I'm feeling. And it's really lovely.
Yes, this is a very profound question, and an important one to help unravel a lot of years of misunderstanding. Thousands of years of misunderstanding. Know the ground of being. You can spend a lot of time, to use your expression, pushing the energy up. If you're not rooted here, it's a very unstable experience. Much can be seen, yes. Much capacity here. But when it's not rooted in the ground of being, it's unstable, unclear in fact. And it's all fueled by need. A need to know, but simply in higher realms, a need to know.
I've only, this is only from learning that this, and through teaching, and also through not even intentionally making that happen, it tends to just start to move that way.
Sure.
And in the past I've had guidance with that from, I mentioned the person to you, and now that person's not physically here, I've always felt that it's okay, you know, if that starts to happen, because I've had that guidance before. But maybe that's not right, I don't know.
It's not about right or wrong. It's about grounding you in being, in presence. You are that which contains all the vibrations within the vibration of you. Even the most heightened, sublime spiritual experience arises within you. You could say that there are many rungs to the ladder of consciousness. Consciousness contains the ladder. Know the pure being that contains the layers within, the levels within. The aspect of the form that is intuitive exists within you. Now this may just sound like words at the moment, but bring your focus back to here. You said before, when you pull your focus back to the heart, it feels expansive. All right, let's come there again. together. Tune back in. Bring your focus here. Can you see an end to the space of your being?
Subtly it seems to, and my head's saying, is this, you're making this up, but subtly it feels like it's expanding and deepening at the same time.
Okay. Is that which is expanding male or female?
It's neither.
All right.
It's love. And not, it's just
stay here.
vibration.
This is your ground.
I've got to question you about this. It feels good. Because I've been watching a lot of Muji and I've been doing a lot of his satsangs in the past. He doesn't talk about coming here, but he talks about being the I am and going deeper than the I am. So
He does talk about coming here.
he probably
In every
does,
word.
but yeah, but I'm
His words are, bring your mind to the heart, to pure awareness.
yeah. So I think I've been doing that, but kind of going inside, but not knowing where inside I'm going, and through what I'm feeling with what's happening now. It's focused in a certain way that helps.
Okay, while we're sitting together, with your focus there, looking from the eyes in the center of the chest, can you turn around and look at the room? From the eyes in the center of the chest. Okay. Now listen to the sounds of the bar, the fridge and the bar, from the eyes in the center of the chest. What is mundane is no longer mundane. No such thing as a boring job.
I'm scared to be blissed out.
You're scared to be
Blissed out. I'm scared to be blissed out in normal life because I know this space.
a moment of bliss, as we have discussed before, arises within bliss.
Okay.
Pure consciousness being we can call bliss. But what you're describing is a heightened experience of yourself, a heightened moment, a very high frequency, ecstatic experience. Let it come, enjoy. What is here is deeper even than that. It contains that, and that can come. The body can still function. You will do your job better than you've ever done it before. Is anything missing when you look from here? No. Nothing can hide when you're looking from here. This is your conscience. Godly wisdom available to you via the conscience.
That was my next question.
Okay. Can you ask it?
How do you know the next move?
Bring your focus back here. See how quickly the mind jumps. When you look from the eyes of the heart, do you need to know how and when to make your next move?
No, the mind wants to jump back and say, what are you going to do next? Because
Sure.
I know in the past my mind has been not happy where it is somehow. And it's time to change something somewhere. It feels like that
Yes.
generally anyway. So there's an intuitive kind of feeling that needs to change too, and I'm waiting
Yes.
somehow.
This mind also contains wisdom. It's all you. The thinking mind, as we said before, is like a child. It grasps just a nugget of truth, but it will always misinterpret and project and push to see what it thinks and feels and knows it's true into existence. But you cannot know what is true and what must unfold until you are willing to not know, until you drop here. The mind has a feeling that where you are, did you mean your workplace?
Yes, and in general, I think.
Okay.
I think it's time to
Sure.
do something. I don't know what it is.
So there is a sense, a deep pull for change, that something has to change.
It feels that I want to be in this.
Right. But you can
Whatever that
be
means.
in this,
I know.
as you say, in your workplace.
Yes.
You don't have to leave your backyard to know who you are.
Yes.
However, there are moments when one does have to leave one's current situation. But you can't know that until you're here. Otherwise it's projection and pushing and more doing that will complicate. So a feeling is there. You can sniff it on the breeze, it's coming, something is there. I don't know what it is, but I trust it. Surrender yourself to a knowing that is not fully clear yet. Only then can it have space. The flower of your knowing has no space to bloom until you surrender to it. And many fears will come with the change. Let them. Let them come and wash you out. Even your fear is playing its part. It pushes you over the edge. Of course the mind is terrified when it leaps over the edge. That is the definition of falling in love. Free fall into the unknown. So to go back to your earlier question, how can I function?
That's really kicking it. When you said free fall into the unknown, everything kind of, I can feel me dropping, and then those kind of Jeff's, my life, all the things I've spoken to you possibly about this kind of. But I know I need to drop, free fall. I know that needs to happen.
Yes. Allow it to happen inwardly. Don't wait for an external free fall. Let it occur here, right now, in this moment. Only then can some physical expression of that be understood. Do you see? The knowing is there that something is ready to change in this one. Some deepening you're on the cusp of some deepening. But the mind is saying, I can't fully deepen until the change is made, but I don't know what the change is. And it's in a loop of frustration. This is the real leap, to view from here. Only from here can you know if it's correct to walk out of your job or to stay. Don't do anything until you are heart-centered.
How do you know when you're fully heart-centered?
You tell me. Bring your focus back.
When?
The minute a question like that comes, what is your task?
To bring it back to here.
Okay, don't wait for me to say it. Do it. You have to be there ready to catch this little one. Don't think about it. Look at me from here.
I was just having an image of eating, like eating it.
Eating.
Is it eating? Like Kali Ma is eating. Like
She's always eating.
Eating all the mind stuff. Eating.
Right, so you can hand it all to Kali Ma. She's eternally hungry. Without that energy of seeking, there can be no knowing of yourself. That is the divine spark inside that pushes you right into the heart, the seeker. However, there can be a long time where beings enter the seeking phase and it actually becomes a phase of holding you back.
I can see that.
Where is it? I'm waiting for it. Where is it? I'm waiting for it.
And I've got to that point, I've completely had it.
Right.
Completely had that. No more. I don't want that anymore.
All right. Don't judge it because it's served its purpose. Now you're tasting the ground of being. It's not around the corner. It's not about tasting the ground of being tomorrow, here. This is goodness. How do you know goodness?
You feel it.
Right.
I'm finding it very easy sitting here in front of you to feel that.
What would goodness do? Every time you're not sure, every time you feel your mind running away, let goodness respond. That's this.
Bring him back to there.
And you can feel it when you're not being the goodness that you are. It hurts. It makes you feel deeply uncomfortable inside. How would goodness function at work? Every act is an expression of love. And you can feel it when you're not. Your workplace is your satsang.
It's like when you say, I don't like this, then that's not coming from an act of love, it's coming from rejection.
So let's be clear even in here, let's pick out the details, because the mind also will be expressing some wisdom in there. It is possible to see misunderstanding in another and not judge it. To feel untruth but not be finger pointing. To feel that something isn't correct for now but not be in judgment. Do you see? So if from here it is felt sincerely that your place is no longer in this workplace, there's a space to that, a humility to that. It's not rejection, it's simply a no. A thank you, but a no.
On a while.
Okay, so then look at this one who is holding on. Is there a fear of, what if I leave and have absolutely nothing? Okay.
Yes. I mean, there is a feeling that I'd like to be around Sangha a lot of time, a long time. If I could, I'd love to do that, just so that it stabilizes more. That's what's been going on recently. But then the fear comes. My daughter, things like that, house, money, da 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 da.
Yes.
So it's how to do that. How to.
I know.
That's that's the big thing that's happening at the moment. So there's the kind of fear of not the fear, but the responsibility. It's mainly my daughter's the responsibility. You know, it's up to me about my home, what I do with that. But it's like there's a feeling that I need to be in an environment to help this. The environment I'm in at the moment is I'm on my own, really. And maybe some people can do that, but maybe I can't. Maybe I need something else.
Yes. You chose the word responsible, and it's the perfect word, because now you are learning true responsibility. To be as a baby in the arms of mother is to hand over all responsibility for living your life. to know that your daughter is not your daughter.
I know that on a level. I do know that from myself, but does my daughter know that?
Sure.
That's the fear, is that I've already mentioned a little thing to her. And she said, "Oh, I want to come to this house though," because I mentioned about possibly going to Sahaja, possibly. I mentioned it, and she reacted a little, but she I could see a little opening as well, possibly. But
Whatever is true will never hurt anyone. Even if there is apparent hurt, it's not. It's part of their journey. This knows when to do, if to do, what to do. It's love in action.
Sorry, I'm going on, but how do you distinguish between the love that you feel for unconditional? Is it for a daughter that's very strong?
Yes. This is the strongest teaching, the parent-child bond. Look at her from here. And then you transcend father-daughter, and yet then can play the roles of father-daughter beautifully. And that's what you're learning.
I tend to do that partly at the moment.
You tend to do...
I tend to do this partly at the moment, but not maybe... there's some little kind of
Yes.
holding somehow, or fear of feeling that she feels that I don't love her, or something like that. If I do something that feels more in line for what is needed, I have a fear that she will feel rejected.
Yes.
And it's a big fear of mine. Actually, it's probably the biggest fear of mine.
But you will serve her by knowing yourself. Not by feeding a sense of need. And this is the strongest one for all beings, the parent-child bond. You've been born to know the true parent. Allow yourself to be that pure infant in parent's arms. Can you right now? Feel it inwardly. Just close your eyes for a moment. You can't even lift your own head.
There's more layers. Maybe it's for another time. I can feel something.
Do you want to sit with it and then come back?
Yeah, maybe I just mention what it is and then sit down.
Say.
It's to do with the abandonment of the divine, the feeling that on some level you mentioned before that there's an anger or something that's deep. It doesn't feel like an anger in me, but it feels like a pain of separation that I can't quite put my finger on.
Yes.
I've felt this before. Over time, it's come every now and then that I've felt this feeling. And I've had literally broken down with it in the past when I've had some spiritual, like some movement, and I've been literally sobbing through something. I don't know, you can't explain it.
Yes. I understand.
Okay.
This is the human pain, the human suffering, the original sense of abandonment. Somehow the thinking mind has translated its own forgetfulness as parent has forgotten me. Great parent doesn't love me. I must be inherently unlovable, unworthy of divine love. All of your sense of abandonment and fear of rejection comes from here. And it's played out in every relationship right from birth, mother. In every human being.
And I can feel the angle you mentioned now. I can feel there's something there, and I felt it when I spoke to you last, and you reconnected. I felt the energy start to move, and then I just felt like raw, kind of just a strong rawness.
So let it come and let it be felt. You're in mother's arms. You have to be willing to feel that raw and go right back to square one of this human experience, of where this pain comes from, and how fantastic that you can articulate it this way. It's bigger than this one's life. Right. And the only way of transcending that is to look from here. But the more you look from here, the more that rawness is going to be felt and temporarily get stronger.
Yeah, because it feels like then it's happening, so it feels like a contraction as well, kind of. It's like going to be like an explosion. It feels like inward and then something.
Yes. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Whatever comes, you are held. If you feel it is time to be more permanently close to a form of love, then you must be. Love calls out to love, and there's no choice about it.
I can't do anything else or something.
Okay. And then all of this can be held, supported, dug out. Safely.
Feeling this coming for a while.
That's love's timing. Thank you, my love. Thank you.